it's Audrey Marie. Thank you for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. And in today's video, I will be reviewing and vlogging my time while reading Fall into Temptation by Lucy Score. I have read the first book in this series, which is the Blue Moon series. The first one in the series is No More Secrets. I have read it already and I did enjoy it. It's just a quick, easygoing romance in a small town. This next book is the brother of the male main character in the first one, so I'm excited to get into this. I did read a page or two last night, and it seems like this might be a fall-ish read. I could be so wrong on that, but it opened up in October. It says it was an early October evening, so I'm excited to see if the fall vibes continue through this book or if it's just the beginning of this book. I'm excited to see what is in store in this book. I don't really know much about it. I'm excited to see if I love this book as much as I do the other Lucy Score books that I've read, because I've read the Knock 'Em Out series, I've read By a Thread. My goal is to read more of her books because I thoroughly have enjoyed the ones that I have read of hers, so I'm excited to continue in this series because I know this series is slowly getting published by Bloom. I think even on Instagram they announced they were doing another one, so these books are already out. It's just Bloom is taking them and redoing their covers and publishing them. I'm excited to jump into this book and see what Beckett and Gianna have in store. I've been really stressed with school recently, and Thanksgiving's right around the corner, so everything is starting to pile up on me. It's crunch time at the moment, so I haven't been able to read a whole lot of this book. I've only got to page 92 so far. I'm also probably in a bit of a reading slump. I've just been so drained this past week. I'm getting off being somewhat sick from this weekend. I feel sickly drained at the moment, which sucks. I've been fighting for my eyes to be open the entire week. Yesterday I should have taken a nap, but I was editing one of the YouTube videos and figuring out how to get my reading vlogs transferred into a format for TikTok, so I figured something out for that. But it looks good. I'm glad it does little recaps of the relationship between the characters since the first book in the series, because it's been a while since I've read the first book. I read the first one in the beginning of this year and I really enjoyed that. It is dual point of view, but it's a different type of dual point of view. It's not like chapter related point of view of the two characters. It will start a chapter in Gia's point of view, and then in the middle of the chapter it'll flip over to Beckett's point of view, and it's such an easy transition between the two different point of views. But this writing style does have a bit of a learning curve to it, but I do enjoy this type of writing style. It's just completely different from what I'm used to, whether it's just one point of view or it's where the point of view is introduced in the beginning of the chapter. It literally says which of the two, whether it's the female lead or the male lead, whose head you're in. This one is definitely different. The first one was the same way, where it would just jump from the female's point of view to the male's point of view, and it's not even first person. It does have a little bit of a learning curve, but it's so simple to understand and easy once you understand what she's doing. It is a little bit of a shock when you first going into it, because you're like, oh, so the book is solely in Beckett's point of view, and then you're like, oh wait, we're getting flipped into Gia's point of view as well, so we are getting to see the thoughts of Gia instead of Beckett. So I'm enjoying it. Not a whole lot's happened, but it is also just a small town romance, so it's not one of my big fantasy reads where it's gonna be action packed. No, this is just a small town romance where Beckett is dealing with the loss of his father, even though it happened a couple years ago. Grief is not linear, and so grief can take place over years. So it's understandable that it still impacted him. Everybody goes through grief at a different speed. And his mom has this new boyfriend. It happens to be Gia's father, so that's an interesting dynamic. And then also Gia is living in Beckett's backyard as Beckett is the landlord over her. And she has 2 kids, which so far the kids aren't that involved in the storyline. There is some fun dynamics between the characters, and Gia and her kids are automatically welcomed into the Pierce household. It's nice seeing the brewery that the brothers all planned out together grow in this book so far, because it's just a lot of construction, and there's been a fun competition between the 3 brothers. And we get to see the dynamic between Summer and Carter in this book as well more, and even Jax and Joey, so we get to see those 2. So I'm enjoying it. It's just a little different, and it is about just over 300, so hopefully it doesn't take me that long to finish this book so I can jump into something else. But I am enjoying it. I'm gonna continue reading this. Hopefully I'll get a couple more chapters through tonight, but I figured I'd give you a little bit of a recap before I get too far into it.
You don't know what that means, but that's really exciting.
About 9-10 o'clock at night, I believe, and last night I read a decent amount of the book, and now I'm at page 168. I'm in the middle of chapter 21, and I'm slowly getting to liking this book more. It's taken me a while because the relationship between the 2 of them is very physical based in the beginning, and so not a whole lot's been going on between the 2 of them. I've honestly really enjoyed hearing more of the growth of the relationship between Carter and Summer Moore, and they're the couple from the first book. It's slowly getting there where they're getting more into the personality of one another and why they might be good for one another. So they're currently exploring at Beckett's house, and I really like the Halloween festival they were doing, Halloween parade. They had early on, I figured that Summer was gonna end up being pregnant because of the symptoms she was explaining while at yoga. I know from the previous book she had cancer, but I had a feeling it was not gonna be cancer coming to hit her again. I had a feeling it was gonna be a pregnancy. I did not expect twins, but I was not that surprised when a pregnancy popped up, and then when Carter proposed to Summer. So I think it's cute that Summer is relying on Gia in the mother department of being a good mother. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the relationship between Beckett and the 2 kids. Typically when books have kids involved in them, it warms my heart watching the relationship between the kids and the other main character come into play. It always warms my heart, and it's just so sweet. So it's nice seeing that grow between all of them, and even the nicknames that are coming out of the characters and how meaningful they are for one another. And it's a sweet read. So it's a simple but sweet read. I am enjoying the book, so I'm excited to see where the 2 of them continue their relationship with one another, because I think once they get past the lust, the physical attraction, and start getting into the personality and the depths of their character, maybe they'll come around and see that they are perfect for one another. So I'll pop in again whenever I have more info on this book. Today, me and my roommates went and hung out for the majority of the day. We left the apartment at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and we headed over to Hobby Lobby because every once in a while we like to do a little bit of a craft night. We thought of the idea of making little Polaroid little holders out of clay. I only have one Polaroid, but she has a ton, so it was good for me to have one for the one Polaroid I have. I enjoy Polaroids, but I just don't have a Polaroid camera, so maybe one day I'll get a Polaroid and be able to have more of those. So the little holder will be able to hold the single Polaroid that I have at the moment. It came out really cute. I made a little crab, and then she made a little ladybug, because her theme in the kitchen of all her items is ladybugs and strawberries, so she was sticking with that theme. So she made a little ladybug to hold her Polaroid. So they came out really cute. And then we went to Books A Million, and I purchased a couple books. I didn't plan on really going in and buying any. I've heard down the grapevine that the Books A Million that I'm near at the moment will be moving here soon, or there's a possibility of them moving to just a different location. So my roommate informed me that the clearance or bargain section at Books A Million had some really good options the last time she was there, so I wanted to see what they had. I didn't necessarily need any books, but I can't hold myself back when there's a good deal on a book. I have a hard time buying books full price, but if a book is at a decent price that I've got my eye on, I will pull the trigger and buy them, even though I don't need them. But I got 4 books while at Books A Million. The first one is part of a duology, and I really didn't like the first book, but luckily I got that one on sale also from Books A Million whenever I bought it. So this one, I'm just trying to finish off the duology to see if it gets any better, and it was on sale. So I was like, $5 for this book is not gonna hurt me that much. So I got Our Violent Ends, the second one of the Chloe Gong series. I'm hoping it'll get a little bit better. I figured I can finish out the series and come to a conclusion on my own whether I fully like the duology or dislike it. I was never gonna buy this book full price at all, so it was $5. I'm just gonna try to get through it, because the first book I had to listen to the audiobook to even get through it. I had such a hard time getting through the first one, and I can imagine a movie in my head whenever I'm reading books, and I just could not in the first one. So we'll see if I can get back into this and enjoy it, or it's just like the first one where I despise it. So that is my least favorite book that I've probably read. So we'll see if it gets any better. The second book is also a continuation of a series that I read. I've been wanting to get the second and third book of the series, and while we were there, it happened to be in the bargain section, and that is Her Soul for Revenge, which is the book 2 of the Souls trilogy. So I read the first one earlier this year, and I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed my time while reading that book. It was a lot darker than I thought, and I thought it would be perfect for the Halloween time. I could not beat $8 for this book, and it normally runs about $20. So I couldn't pass up this book whenever I know I enjoyed the first one. The third book I got is a new author that I've been aware of. I have been aware of a lot of the booktubers that I also follow and watch on the daily. Read a lot of this author's book because she has a lot of books out, and that is Ellen Hildebrand. I know she has a lot of books, and this book has always stood out to me amongst the collection of hers, and I kept seeing multiple of her books being on sale at Books A Million, but this one was $10, and normally this runs $30 on the dot because it is a hardback. So I'm excited to get into Ellen Hildebrand and see if I like her books or not, and $10 was a good starting point to get into her books. While reading the little snippet of the story in here, it reminded me of Malibu Rising, and I even read it off, that little snippet about their house burning, to my roommate, because my roommate got me into Malibu Rising, and she got me to read that. So I read that off to her while we were shopping, and she was like, that sounds like Malibu Rising. I was like, yep, that is why I read it out loud. So I might save this till this summer to give it a little bit of a read, because it looks like a very summer read. So I'm excited to get into it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know it's a lot of drama between some characters in Nantucket. It may take me a while to finally get to her books, but I'm excited to see what they have in store for me. The fourth book I got was kind of introduced to me by my roommate, so shout out to her. This one stood out to her, and then it stood out to me based on the context on the inside of this book, and that is the last one. It was about $10. So I didn't know about this book before going into there, but the sprayed edges are really pretty, and normally I do not like sprayed edges, but it kind of got me with the end pages. Not normally a person who buys books because of sprayed edges. I will literally avoid buying books because of sprayed edges. So we'll see if I actually like this one. I don't know much about it besides the little blurb on the inside, and I was intrigued just by that. So I also got on Goodreads and I saw that there is a second book in this series. I don't really know much about it. I haven't heard really anything anywhere about this book, so I'm very intrigued as to what this book has in store. I'm just kind of going into this blind. I think I got a good haul. I got some fantasy books and a contemporary, I think this one is. I really don't know what Ellen Hildebrand's book is kind of considered, but I'm excited to see whether I like these books or not, and to see if I like the continuation of some of these books in the series that I've read before, and to see if I found 2 new authors that I might continue trying to purchase their books. So I'm excited to see if I enjoy these books, and I'm glad I got these all at a discount. So those are the 4 books that I got from Barnes & Noble while shopping today. Fall and Temptation last night. I woke up with a migraine yesterday, so I was not feeling good at all. I took my migraine medicine, popped some ibuprofen. I even was out of my contacts all day yesterday trying to see if that would also help, and thankfully at some point yesterday, late yesterday, because I woke up at pretty much noon. I slept for about 12 hours and I really needed it. So there's that. I felt like crap yesterday, but with that, I felt crazy being on my phone. I couldn't even edit any YouTube videos because everything made my head hurt so much. So I just had to stay off my phone, couldn't do any schoolwork. Everything just was not working in my favor. So pretty much all I did yesterday was read and finish Fall and Temptation. As the book went on, they went more into the depth of one another and found out more about each other. I loved how Beckett and Evan got together and planned the entire town meeting together to get Gianna back to being together with Beckett. I will say this relationship happened really fast. The beginning of the book happens in October, and the end of the book happens on New Year's. So the relationship happens really fast, and the ending, Beckett ends up proposing, and in the epilogue they're getting married on New Year's. And so I enjoyed it as the book went on. I'm still a little in a reading slump and I'm trying to get out of that, so this book helped me. So I'm hoping that the more books I read after this, it gets me further out of my reading slump, and I'm pushing myself into reading books. I have no urge to even scroll on my phone or even pick up a book. This book was really good at the end. This is literally all I wanted to do was read this book yesterday because it kept me from feeling sick basically, and after they finally started talking and being in one another's life, they were starting to get more in depth with one another. My storage gave me the notification it was full again, but I do think, even though the books are about different couples, I feel like you should read them in order. Like this book, you got to see so much of Carter and Summer's relationship with one another that I feel like they were just such prominent in this book. I feel like you should definitely read their book before getting into this, because you're seeing them getting married, you're seeing them end up getting pregnant, about to have kids, so you're like seeing so much of them, and then you get to see the family. So I feel like you might need to read this in order or you get spoiled of their dynamic, but it's not necessary. It probably would be nice to read these as the series goes. So I think it would just give you more of understanding and more of a depth of how the progression with one another, instead of just jumping in being like, oh, they're a couple, oh, they're getting married. You want to see the ups and the downs and the tension between one another and everything that went on between them. So I really did like Beckett and Gianna together. It was cute. Beckett was so adorable with the kids, and I'm so glad the beautification committee got together and pushed them together. I love the beautification committee. They're so great, and I just loved how they work together to get these couples together, and they don't even expect it. And when Beckett walked into one of their meetings unknowingly and they had just the right slide on for him coming in, it was just absolutely perfect. So everything worked in their favor. I'm glad Beckett got a kick in the ass to finally, especially from Evan, to go after his mother, and it was just so sweet. And Evan calling Gianna mom at the end was just a sweet little full circle moment. So I really enjoyed this book. Highly recommend. Lucy Score, it's not a really suspenseful romance like her Knock 'Em Out series. It's just a fluffy romance, nothing major going on in the book. So if you're just looking for an easy read, this is definitely it for you. But that is everything regarding my review and vlog of Fallen Temptation by Lucy Score. That is it for this video, and I just really want to say thank you all for clicking on this video and spending your time watching my video and listening to me talk about my reading experience and thoughts. I really appreciate it, and go check out my other videos if you're interested in seeing whatever my thoughts are on the other books that I've happened to pick up and read. So I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye!